I think a lot of people at my age probably don't understand that there's a lot of work to do and a lot of personal growth that's out there.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sharing Passion and Purpose podcast. My name is Nancy Moore, and I am the host of this weekly podcast that provides career and creative inspiration to help you build a passionate and purpose-filled life. You'll hear from guests that will help you tap into your creative potential, pursue a career with passion, and build on your biggest and best resource, yourself. I'm excited to have you join this conversation. I'm so happy you're here. Let's get started. Before we get started, I'd like to take a minute to thank the sponsor of this podcast, Laura Blair, founder of Blair Hollow Candle Company. Handcrafted candles that are thoughtfully created, non-toxic, and clean burning with a collection of curated fragrances. And you guys, I love these candles. Personally, I look for non-toxic candles to make sure I'm not polluting the air inside my home with unwanted chemicals, and Blair Hollow Candle Company blends signature fragrances inspired by nature, travel, and home, and they are blended to perfection using pure essential oils. And the wooden wick in my current candle adds a layer of coziness to hear the crackling as it's burning. Blair Hollow Candle Company, artisan candles handcrafted in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can find them on Instagram at Blair Hollow Candles. And if you're local, they're available at Meadow Gold Mac in Tulsa at 1306 East 11th Street. You guys, check them out. They are absolutely incredible. And now, on with the podcast. This episode is special to me because I'm joined by my daughter and intern, Mackenzie Moore. She is a senior at the University of Arkansas and graduates in December. And this is her third time to be on the podcast, and people love hearing from her. To say that I'm proud of her is an understatement. She is phenomenal. She has an awesome work ethic, holds me accountable, and is really way more organized than I am, and an all-around great young woman. I am so proud to be her mother. In this visit, you're going to hear a little about her past summer internship in Panama. And yes, it's where the Panama Canal is located, and a little about her journey of just kind of self-discovery and then how she prioritizes her mental health. And it was really hard for me to come up with a teaser quote because she has so many great nuggets of information that she shares. So listen to the whole episode. I know that there will be something that you can take away from it, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, Mackenzie Ann, I am so happy to have you back on my podcast. You are my best girl, my daughter, and my intern, and just everything. And we recorded, I'm going to tell people, we recorded a podcast, and it was an hour and 40 minutes. And I do my editing, so I asked if you could come back and we could do something that's just a little shorter.
We had lots to talk about.
We did. And so we're going to see if we can keep it in the time frame that I usually do. But welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here again. I love doing this with you.
Good. I know. We have so much fun together. And we have a lot to talk about. So we're going to get started because you've been on the podcast before. Mm-hmm. And this is your third time?
Yeah.
So this is your third time. And I would like for people to hear about the internship that you had in Panama, because you're an international business major. You are graduating in December, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But one of the things where we left off with the previous podcast is you were getting ready to go to Panama for your internship. So I'd like people to know where you did this internship and just a little about what you did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's funny when I said I told people I was going to Panama City for my internship, they thought I was going to Florida. And I'm here to say that was not the case. I went to Panama City, Panama.
Panama Canal.
Yes, the country. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was really an incredible experience. It was very unique, too, because I was actually the first person to do this program. And so I was the first person. I was the guinea pig, and I was also there all by myself.
From the University of Arkansas.
Yes. There weren't any other college students, no one else from the U.S. It was literally just me. So this was something else, I will say. I'm a firm believer, though, that doing anything outside of your comfort zone is where you grow. So I tend to gravitate toward those things, even if I need a little kick in the back sometimes. I know I need to do them, and I know it's necessary for my development. So, yeah, it was good, though. So I went, and I had to speak Spanish the whole time. Everything was in Spanish. I mean, a lot of people knew English there, but it was pretty poor English. I mean, they could understand some things. It's like a lot of people here who are like, oh, I learned Spanish in high school Spanish class, and then they can't really speak it very well. It's like that for them, but English. There were a few that knew really good English, but most of them didn't. But yeah, so I've never been in a environment like that, and it was kind of scary at first, and then you get warmed up to it because I've never had to use my Spanish like that.
So let's remind people, because I think we mentioned this on the previous podcast, but you actually attended an immersion school in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Zero International. So from kindergarten, you were immersed in learning Spanish.
Yeah.
And had kept that up through high school and college. And so you were at a point where, you knew it, I think, textbook.
Yeah.
So being immersed in it again in Panama was really a great way for you to develop in those, Spanish speaking skills. So tell people about where you worked and then what you were doing, because you worked for a really amazing company.
Yeah. I worked for L'Oreal. L'Oreal Group is really the formal term, or CERAN, which is short for Central America in Spanish. So that's the division, actually. In Panama, they oversee the Central American L'Oreal. And so, yeah, it was really cool. I didn't know much about the company going into it because I didn't realize it was like a group where they had, the different lines and the different brands under the umbrella. I thought it was like L'Oreal Paris, and that was it, like the one makeup company, but it's a whole thing, and it was really cool to get to know that part. And I got to see them do launches, and I got to see this one launch had an influencer come and show us how to use the makeup, and it was just a really cool experience. I really liked the industry, and on top of all that, it was in another country, so that was cool.
So tell people what you were doing, like your role, because you were there for 5 weeks.
Yes. So I worked with the consumer product division, and I was looking at their portfolios for this drugstore chain. So it's like Walgreens, but it's locally in Panama. It's local. And so I looked at all the products that they ordered and the history, and kind of looked at the sales. Like, I was trying to cross-reference the sales and all this stuff to kind of find products that they weren't selling in these stores, that the stores weren't ordering from us, and were bestsellers maybe in other stores or other places that I thought should be in that store and would sell good in that store. So I was kind of looking through and editing a portfolio of their products.
See, that's super cool, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And I think the 5 weeks couldn't go by fast enough. And we did talk to you, and it was fun to see your apartment that you had. You were within walking distance to your place where you worked, and you sent pictures that looked absolutely amazing. So I'm glad that you had the opportunity. What was your big takeaway from that opportunity?
I think I had a few, just because when I went into it, I knew that there were so many things that I was going to get out of it, and that's why I wanted to do it in the first place. So I knew that I was going to be able to practice my Spanish in a way I've never been able to before. And again, like gonna be in that environment was going to force me to kind of pick it up pretty quickly. And I also knew I hadn't had great experience in a corporate environment before, especially in a company that I liked. So I was excited to work at L'Oreal and like learn about that sort of thing. So I was going to get a lot on the corporate side too. And then I love to travel, so I like to see new places, of course. But yeah, so there were lots of things that I wanted to do, and a lot of personal growth too, because like I said, getting out of your comfort zone is really important in order to have that personal growth. And so I was looking forward to all those things. All of it, when it's planned, all of it happened. And so I think in every aspect of my life, professional, personal, etc., I think I gained something from that experience.
I love your outlook on that. It wasn't just one thing, it was all of that. I love that. So when you graduate in December, because we're airing this in November, what are you looking forward to? You've been in school since kindergarten. You've been in school full time. What are you looking forward to?
I'm glad you phrased it like that, because I don't know, I feel like there's a lot to look forward to outside of like a career, because I am looking forward to being on my own, and I know it's lame, but like paying my bill, like being able to have my independence, even as far as like financials go. Like I'm excited about all of that. And so I don't know, I think the world is your oyster. You don't have to choose a school. You can kind of do whatever you want. Like if you want to live in a certain city, if you want to do a certain job, if you want to do a remote job, and if you want to, like, I don't know, there's just so many things to choose from. And I'm kind of excited that I get to tailor my life now to how I want. Because like when you're in school, it's like you have to go to school, you have to do this, you have to do that. But now it's like I can figure out what I like and I can do it. It's awesome. Which, I mean, it's going to take me a while to figure out, I think. But I'm glad that I'm on that path too.
It's such an exciting next phase for you. And I'm so thrilled that you said the world is your oyster, because it truly is. And you have just, this is a mom talking, just unlimited potential, and you have such an amazing work ethic, and you're just
Thank you.
Absolutely, incredible in everything. You excel in so many things that you do. So I'm excited to see where you're going to land, where you're going to end up.
Yeah. I mean, I have a positive outlook on it for sure, like I just said, but there are a lot of hard times where I get stressed out about it, because I mean, if you don't know where you're going, it's hard to take next steps.
So we were talking at breakfast, and you said you don't know exactly what you want to do, but you're just going to start trying things out.
I think that for me, I mean, a lot of people are lucky and they know what they want to do, and a lot of people aren't, which I'm in the second group. But I think the only way to figure that out truly is to just try things, talk to people, try things, because you truly don't know what a job is going to be until you do it. Like you can think of what it is in your brain. You can think of hypothetically what it would entail and what your life would be like, but you truly don't know. Like, because one company might be better than the other if it was like the exact same position, or maybe you don't like, the field that you're in. So maybe you change fields in the same company, or like whatever it is. And so I really think I just need to like hop right in and see what I can get and see if I like it and go from there. Because it's been really hard for me to figure out. I'm very particular about everything in my life, down to the socks that I wear on my feet. And so I think I really just need to figure it out by trying things.
I love that advice, because I couldn't give you better advice, for sure.
You probably are the one that said that to me, actually. And I have it in my head now.
Okay. Well, I love it. I love that you're saying that. Okay. So what would you say would be, like, up to this point, something that maybe you've done that has helped you in your life? And the reason why I'm thinking about this is because the previous podcast you talked about organization and, you know, how you like to be organized yourself, and you are so organized, and, you know, I am so disorganized, and maybe that's why you're organized. But is there something that you do that helps you in your everyday life that maybe would be a takeaway for people?
Okay. I have two things I want to say. One, I'm always working to improve myself. And I'm still young too. So, you know, there's that, of course. And I have a lot of learning to do. But I think a lot of people at my age probably don't understand that aspect, that there's a lot of work to do and a lot of personal growth that's out there. And so every morning when I wake up, it's like, how can I, one, be a version of myself that I want to be? How do I visualize myself in 5 years, and how am I going to get there today? Like, not, obviously not like today, you know what I mean? But like, how am I going to work toward it today? And so that's the first thing. And I think also, again, because I'm so particular about what I like and what I don't like, there are a lot of things I don't like. And so to get things done and to be productive and to like move forward in my life, I've had to do a lot of things I don't like to do. And so I think my other advice would be, you have to do things you don't want to do. You just have to do it. Like, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, I have to go to work again, I hate work, you have to go to work. But that's going to get you closer to something else. I don't know. Because, yeah. I mean, I didn't enjoy school, but I had to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't love exercising, but I got to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, and all of that stuff makes me a better version of myself. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
So do you set an intention for the day?
So I wish that I could say yes. I think I do it unintentionally. No pun intended. I think like doing journaling, like formal stuff for me, like a daily journal or daily affirmations or something that's set, like a scheduled thing, I'm not good at keeping up with. I never do. I've always tried to do it. I've never been able to do it. I've tried everything. And so I think I've just tried to implement things, just thoughts, I guess, in my life that you know, different things work for different people. So like for me, it's just kind of like thinking about what I'm going to do that day and thinking how I'm going to do it and who I'm going to be while I'm doing it. Instead of like, some people meditation works better, some people journaling does work better, but like I just can't get myself to sit down and do it. So like when I'm up, I also like to listen to podcasts in the morning when I'm getting ready. So sometimes that helps, like positive podcasts or like podcasts that grow your knowledge on something you're interested in. Or
do you have one podcast that's your favorite?
I do. I'm super into like health stuff. It's called The Skinny Confidential. I don't know if anyone's ever heard that who's listening to this. I love it because they have on all sorts of people from every walk, like all walks of life. And it's people that they just talk about their lives, what they've struggled with, how they've dealt with it. But it's also a lot of doctors who like to talk about big pharma and certain things like that. And then there's also a lot of CEOs of health companies, and they talk about how their journey to that and how they got started with their company, because a lot of times they struggle with something like health-wise themselves that forces them to like come up with their own product. It's really interesting stuff, and it's really, they have celebrities, they have doctors, they have everyone. So it's really a cool podcast. So that's my favorite one.
We've never talked about that. I'm going to check that out now.
It's awesome. It's my favorite.
Okay. And what a great way to start the day. Mm-hmm. To even as you're putting on your makeup or you're getting ready or whatever, you just put that on and listen.
Even if it's like, sometimes it's even 20 minutes. And then on my, way to work, which is also like a 5-minute drive, I have it on too. Mm-hmm. So it's really not very long, but that's like half the podcast. Mm-hmm. They're longer episodes. They're like an hour.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. Okay. I just love to listen to it.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Okay, so one thing that we talked about before that I think we should talk about again is mental health. And I asked you, because we wanted to talk about the internship that you did, but then what else would be important for you to share or talk about? And you said mental health. And so I'm going to just open it up and then let you share a little bit about why maybe that topic is on your heart, and maybe what you have done to help, your top thing that you've done to help with your own personal mental health.
Yeah. You phrased it kind of a different way when you asked me. It was like, what do you think is the most relevant thing in your life that would apply to others?
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
And I think that would be mental health because, the society that we're living in right now, it's kind of hard to be mentally healthy. And no one, it's not, you don't have to be mentally healthy all the time. It's not possible. But I think for me, and especially a lot of younger girls, maybe even, I don't know, every age, let's say. But I know a lot of people my age struggle with that sort of thing.
In our early 20s. We don't have to say exactly, but we'll just say early 20s. Yes.
Yes. Especially where I'm at with like the graduating college thing and all of that. Like, I know a lot of people struggle with it at this particular point, and post-grad, like immediate post-grad life can be really hard too. But I don't want to just talk about that specific point in my life. Like, I know a lot of people struggle with it, not just where I am. And so this really applies to everybody. But I would say, I don't know. I mean, I've struggled with it for, I don't even know, 6 years now, I would say. It's been my thing. And I don't know, about 2 years into it, I was like, I really just can't take this anymore. I've got to do something about it because the quality of life that I'm living right now is awful. Like, I cannot keep doing this. I am so unhappy. My schoolwork and my grades were taking a hit. My friendships were taking a hit. Everything was just going really downhill. And so I was like, I think it's an internal issue. Because I also don't feel good, obviously. I don't feel very good. And then everything else is suffering too. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what are we going to do about this? And so I don't know if I should just keep going on everything, or if you have any more questions, let me know.
So let's say, just for the sake of time, so
okay.
you realized that you were struggling, just mentally struggling. And I remember you told your dad and I that, you were looking to you were struggling, and I was so thrilled that you shared that with us, and we helped find you a therapist. And I know that therapist was fine for a little bit of time, but she didn't end up helping really long term. But you now are seeing somebody who is amazing. And so I don't know if you want to, your tip would be to, seek therapy, or if, what your tip would be. But I wanted people to have a takeaway for maybe what helped you, so maybe they could try that, learn from you, or whatever it is, if they have struggles. Because you're right, everybody struggles.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I mean, everyone struggles in different ways, so maybe some people don't necessarily think they need to seek help. Maybe it's just kind of a hard time. And some people it's more consistent. But I will say, I don't know if I can only give one tip.
No, do what you want.
Well, just because I think different people are able to benefit from different things. So it's hard to just say one thing, because it's like maybe that doesn't work for someone, or the majority of people.
So have there been a few things, a couple of things, whatever you want to share that have been beneficial or helpful to you?
Yeah. I mean, so I will say, number one, therapy, I would say, but finding a good therapist is really important. It's like dating. Like, you kind of have to like try some people out. Like, a lot of people think that if you try a therapist and you don't like them, then therapy in general is not for you, when it really is probably just that therapist. So that's really important, is to just really keep going. And they're not going to take it personally. That's what they do for a living. And you're not the first person to say no to them. And so really it's fine. Like, just keep looking. It's really, really an amazing experience to find like a good therapist and be able to talk to them about things. And I love mine. So we get along great. And I feel like she definitely calls me out when needed, which is really awesome. And I need that. So, yeah, just find someone who you really click with, and it'll work perfect. And I think really like talk therapy is underrated. Like, you don't realize how much it's going to help you until you really get into it. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually amazing and really helpful, you know? So I think that's a really good tip. And then I also think, I mean, especially now in today's day and age with like all the health stuff that's going on and all of the crap that we have in our food and water, I think it's important to really pay attention to what you're putting in your body. And I mean, that's huge. I think because that can have a big impact on you, whether you know it or not. Sleep, huge. And I mean, I'm someone who just recently have started to work on their habits. Like, I don't get on my phone right when I go to bed or right when I wake up anymore. I like let myself have a second. I like to read before I go to bed now. And yeah, but putting things in your body, you really have to watch what you eat, because there are things in like processed food, fast food, that actually really bring down your brain chemicals. Like, it's like kind of crazy how you don't realize it's affecting you that much, but they're really affecting you, and they're addictive chemicals in there that make you want to keep going back. It's kind of crazy. And so I would say, yeah, watch what you put in your body. I actually went to a functional doctor that helped me run some tests and figure out what was wrong. So I know that can be kind of expensive, but that was worth it for me if you're willing to splurge. If not, just, you know, as healthy as you can possibly get, I would say. And then the therapist. Those are two big things. Surround yourself with people who you feel like are positive for your life and good influences. And then, I don't know, just like everyday practices, just find things that make you happy. Because again, like I said, I don't love going to work every day. I don't love doing school. So I have to figure out other things that make me happy throughout the day, which can be kind of hard sometimes. So my weeks can be long, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you nailed it. And you know, because of your success with the functional medicine doctor, I have just had my first appointment with her. And so I get my results coming up. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm excited to see your results.
Me too. Yep. No, I think you hit it right on the head with all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I'm going to start wrapping it up.
Okay.
So my theme for this year is grow more in 2024. So is there something that you would like to share how you've grown either personally or professionally?
I would like to say therapy again.
That's awesome.
I truly love it. And I think it's partly because of my therapist too, because I really do love her and get along with her great. And just really enjoy talking to her. But then also, I will say, again, getting out of your comfort zone. Because that's, again, ties into like doing things that you don't want to do, like I said earlier. So both of those things, it's like maybe you don't want to get out of your comfort zone, but think of what that will do for you. That will, once you're done with this experience that's outside of your comfort zone, I feel like 95.999% that you'll be happy you did it. And you'll get something out of it. If not, I mean, you can come egg my house, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I really do think that that's super important, is to just, even, it doesn't have to be going to another country to do an internship. Like, that was kind of crazy. It could just be like going to a store you don't normally go to by yourself, or just like anything that makes you maybe a little nervous or scared. Do it. You don't know. Like, maybe it's not as bad as you think, or maybe it'll help you grow in ways you didn't know. So I would just say do things outside your comfort zone, really. And then, personally, if it's mental health, therapy.
I love it. Okay. So what do you think, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but what do you think is next for you?
Well, I will say my therapist likes to joke that I do have a crystal ball in my pocket because I like to pretend that I know what's happening. I don't. Spoiler alert, I don't. But I don't know. I mean, I'd love, love, love to move to New York. I don't know if that's in the cards for me. We're going to find out. But other than that, it's really up in the air. I'm excited to find out. I think it'll be fun regardless, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Like we said, the world is your oyster. So
yeah,
I love it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for talking to me, honey. Yeah. I appreciate it. I always love having you on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all that you shared. I know that people will love hearing it, so thank you.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. I hope everyone enjoyed.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate you being here. And don't forget to connect with me on social media. Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn are at Sharing Passion and Purpose, and Twitter is at Passion Sharing. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.